everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Rajelos 90 podcast. I'm your host, Seti, and joining me is my good friend, Rompas. Um, pleasure for good to have you, man.
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's gonna. We haven't done two pretty much in a row in a while,
Yeah,
so good to be here. I saw that. Did you see that last clip that went kind of a little bit viral? A little bit,
yeah,
just a little bit.
yeah. No, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about it at the end. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
um,
today I'm rocking my NFL team jersey. Shout out to Beto who it was a gift from him, and I decided to wear it because I don't have anything else to wear. So, and I didn't want to use the same black shirt, so it is what it.
yeah. So on this show, I guess we'll just start out with Dennis the Close or
Mhm.
Santa Claus or however you want to call him. He is now everybody is in the same city now. There's no people working remotely. Everybody's under the same facilities. Everybody's now this project can really like take off. So he arrived on Sunday, right? Sunday. I think he arrived on Sunday,
Yep.
right? Sunday. And yeah, I mean, he didn't really say anything other than, he's happy to work for the club and all that stuff. Really
Mhm.
nothing you get out of that.
Usual.
Uh
Yep.
yeah, but now that he's here, what is now like what's your I don't want to say excitement level, but what's like your like okay, now let's see what they're going to do. Like what's that,
Mhm.
I guess you can say, where's your excitement in terms of like, okay, now this project really can move forward. Everybody's here. And
Yeah.
yeah, where are you at with this
It is
project now that can,
it is different because even though he was working uh remotely, but now it kind of gives you this sense of that that they actually are working now. I don't know if that makes sense, but it is different for somebody to be all the way in Europe and e- even though he was making decisions there, but it hits you completely different. He What I do notice is that he has his way with the reporters as well, kind of like a Tato vibe ish, right? Like he's good with the mic, which is always good. And I hope that he's not the type of person that just wants the spotlight when it is going well. And
yeah.
he even, I mean, I know that Herbiti is there for that precisely, but it's always good to have your president saying something when things go sour, right? Um, it was just normal answers, nothing
Mhm.
out of the ordinary. But it hits you different that he's now here. Everybody's here. Almeida also did his well, he's already training, right? But everybody in the same roof. I think that it kind of gives you a more like it's potentially gonna be faster and better
Mhm.
everything that they try to achieve, right?
So let's go into the next topic. The roster. Uh, Obviously, nobody's left
Yeah.
officially, but nobody has arrived either. But
Just
everybody's now in the same. Everybody's training now,
mm-hmm.
and well,
There's
there's
two
two
there.
things there's two things that kind of for me kind of stood out. One of
Mm-hmm.
them is Corcho Rodriguez isn't really training, or he's training but he's off somewhere. it's
I got news for
it's
that. Yeah.
yeah, it's but it's at this point it just feels like if you can't offload him this summer, then you're just gonna have to
You
swallow the
should.
contract.
Hmm.
We'll see if somebody wants to take him at a discount. I know that one's going to be hard. He still has 1 year left on his contract. And then there was the information that Santiago Furcade kind of floated out that Roberto De La Rosa had some type of, I don't know if it's
Like,
liposuction,
yeah, lipo, yeah,
liposuction,
yeah.
during during last tournament, and he got the
Uh-huh.
okay to do that. And then, but you look at his physique, and it's
It
doesn't look
doesn't
like,
show.
it
Yeah, it doesn't
doesn't
show, right?
show. But um, let's start. I guess we'll start with De La Rosa. I kind of put a tie on like the Tato era, where the players kind of felt like they can do whatever they wanted,
Whatever.
or they
Hmm.
had like, well, nobody's gonna say no. I mean, if you have the balls to say, to tell your boss, hey man, I'm gonna, yes, I have to, be training and all this and that, but I'm gonna go have a surgery that isn't like health related just because I
Aesthetic
want to
surgery.
slim in. Yeah. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that because I'm not a De La Rosa fan. I don't feel like I would rather
It
have a young
doesn't
player
happen.
than he.
Yeah.
But what does that tell you of like the last,
It,
few
it,
months
it's
of
a,
like the last year of that era?
it's a bit more complicated than what it looks like. I'm gonna try to unravel this fast, right? Because yes, it's obviously the issue. The main issue here is you get a permit to go and do something that is not necessary, it's not important, it's not urgent. When you're actually getting playing minutes, which is weird, and even so, when you do that, let's try to put yourself in Duca's shoes. So this guy goes and gets a surgery that is not necessary. I'm here training, breaking my balls, training, and then he comes back and he still goes to the starting 11. And I, that didn't do that, I'm not even playing 15 minutes. So it goes to show that everything broke down at the end for Tato Noriega. I, I mean, I did know the that it was awful, but I didn't know the depth of it, right? Because it is really really bad that a player of yours gets a permit that is not necessary. Remember back when I don't know if you're gonna remember this, but I remember, for instance, Jonathan Orozco back in early 2010, 2011, he needed surgery, and he always postponed that for playing time because he was the starting 11 a goalkeeper. So he always did that for at least I want to say a year, a full year, and then he got surgery. So that's kind of like the comparison is there. Like if you don't need it, and you go ahead and have the, how can I say it without being without using curse words, have the nerve to actually stand up and say, you know what, Mr. President of the team, I need, because I'm feeling a little bit hefty, right? So instead of doing exercise and fully committed, I'll just go ahead, go with the doctor, tummy tuck, Drake style. Let's go. I mean, bro, it was. I didn't believe it at first, and I still don't believe it. But again, it goes to show you the mess that Tato Noriega had under his belt. And Hector Lara, because people are
Yeah.
forgetting that Hector Lara, he is responsible for those type of decisions. It has to be Hector Lara because he's the bridge between management and the team, right? And again, who was the coach? Why the coach also allowed that to happen? What those the entire team failed when that
Mhm.
happened. I mean, it's just it was a train wrecking. and he
Yeah.
got fucked up at the end. So yeah, it is what it is.
It yeah, no, it kind of feels that I don't know if Tato Noriega kind of like just didn't give a shit anymore, and he was like, "Okay, I'm out of here. I don't care." Because it all started with like after the Club World Cup, it just everything went just down, down, down. Like he didn't replace Diosa. He for some reason went after Anthony Martial. He when he needed to replace Bertarame, he went with an older guy, and it was just yeah, it just kind of he just didn't care anymore. And it goes to show you that not just foreign players can see Monterrey as a piggy bank, as a club that's like, hey, I don't give a shit about your shield, I don't give a shit about your anything, right? And it just like just it's not gonna be just foreign players. It can be Mexican players like the De La Rosa. Uh,
Mhm.
do you think he
Mhm.
stays? Do you think he stays? Just to end this
I mean,
conversation. Do you think he
I hope
stays or?
not. I hope not. I really hope, because I can only imagine like the things that he's gonna hear from here on out. Whether he scores goals or not, that's not gonna make a difference. He's gonna be criticized to say the least because I mean, again, if you're a guy who's scoring goals, who's playing at the top of his level, all right, do whatever you want. But this is a guy that has 2 goals in almost a year and a half, something like
Mhm,
that. Uh, I don't know if I told you this story, but remember back when we needed goals against Toluca there
mhm,
in Toluca, I never felt that we were gonna advance because the second goal was by De La Rosa, and he was
mhm.
like, I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
he always
any
he
emotional.
scores goals. He scores goals that end up just not mattering. Like he scored against Cruz Azul and CONCACAF. Not mattering anymore.
Exactly.
I know he
So
scored 2 goals. He scored 2 goals. If I'm he scored two
right,
goals.
he got a
We
double.
still end
Yeah.
up he still ended up getting eliminated. So he always scores goals and
Yeah,
like it just they don't end up matter.
but the thing is that I I mean I imagine that that's not gonna sit well with the new management.
Yeah.
I haven't asked that particular question, but I mean if I'm getting to a new job and I heard that and I hear that one of my workers is doing that, like just don't give a fuck, like a
Yeah, he taking
flying fuck.
shortcuts. Taking
Mm-hmm.
shortcuts. Like you said, he rather than eat better, train, exercise, all that. I'm
I
just
mean,
gonna go to the. I'm gonna eat whatever I want, drink whatever I want, but I'll just go to the to get,
but
get to the
in
top.
the I mean the bottom of the actual joke is that he does that for a living, bro. Like, I mean, if it was any other, like he was a chess master or whatever, all right. I mean, you're sitting, you're eating shit, all right. But you're supposed to be fit. That's like the least of your worries should be that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it just it's just amazing. Again, the depth of this Tato Noriega and Hector Lara lack, obviously, of leadership, of common sense, of I don't know. You can name it whatever you want, but again, it's just unbelievable. I hope that this new management, I would do it. I would if it was me, I would say, you know what, sir. I mean, you look fitter, right? Perfect, but you out of here, bro. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I said, I'd rather have a young player for that third role. As a striker, you have a lot of young players. It's I just rather have that. But let's switch over to Coach Rodriguez, and he has, if I'm not mistaken, he has not yet practiced. He's going to the facilities, but
Mhm.
he's doing stuff apart from
Yeah.
the entire other group.
Mhm.
And it's just
It's
yeah,
been
it's
like
just I
that.
don't know. Yeah, it's just I don't know if he's
Mhm.
gonna be able to play. I don't know if he's like healthy enough that you can try to like loan him out or something like that. Because if not,
Mhm.
like nobody's gonna take an injured player. At least I don't think. Um,
Yeah, Monterrey, Tatoneria.
no, I mean, yeah.
Other than us,
uh, yeah, other than us, but do you think how do you, how do you think this is gonna play out? Do you think I, I just think that he is already behind a little bit. You know, it's
hmm
one thing to be coming into a new team and you're trying to catch up, but he's already with the team and he's already behind.
yeah,
And the way Almeida wants to play, I just don't think
he's
his
not gonna make
body's
it.
going. Yeah, his body is going to hold up.
It's,
So, do you think Monterrey can somehow miraculously get rid of him, or do you think they're just going to have to say, you know what, we're just going to have to swallow this? You either buy him out, which
mhm.
I don't know if they're going to want to do because they I don't know. I just don't know how much
No,
money they still owe to players and
they are
coaches
cutting
still.
expenses. They are cutting expenses in that regard. Like buying out players, they are cutting expenses because
Yeah.
they were thinking about the same thing with Andrada, and now
Yeah.
it's not gonna be like
And
that.
so
Yeah.
it's like, hey, if you can't get rid of him, then do you fight that last year of his contract because his contract
Mhm.
expires next year?
Yep.
And again, the issue is that he is a foreign player. I don't know. Maybe you can think about like you use some type of medical excuse that maybe he's done. You know, then you can just use that spot that he occupies, but he would like, have to be completely out. How do you
And,
see this one playing out?
uh, the best scenario obviously is that he has a medical um letter or backup, or whatever you want to call it, to ensure that he's able to play, but at certain level. So you can loan him out to, I don't know,
Mhm.
a second division team in Uzbekistan.
Right.
I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck, right? But I don't know what I do know. Remember that he's one of Almeida's acquaintances, or he
Mhm,
already
yeah.
knows, right?
Yeah, he's already played with
Almeida?
them, yeah. Or he's already
Yeah.
yeah,
So
played for him.
what I'm what I'm feeling, not what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling that it's gonna happen, they're gonna say, you know what, you're definitely not fit to play at this level, and even worse, how Almeida wants to play, which is 110% all the time. You're not gonna be able to hold up to that rhythm. Um, so let's do. This is an idea, right? So let's do this. I'm gonna buy you out the last year of your contract at certain percentage, and you're gonna be in Almeida's team as part of the institution, kind of like a
Mhm,
Nico Sanchez type of situation.
mhm.
Like make him how do you say auxiliar? I don't know how to say it.
Coaching,
Uh,
assistant, yeah, as one of his
like an
assistants.
assistant. That would be the best case scenario because that would kind of like take care of the player and take care of your money and like the better decision for everybody. The thing is that it's business, and in business there's no feeling. So what I would do is I would just say, you know what, sir, you're not fit to play here. You're taking an important spot, which is a foreigner spot, and we're gonna loan you, or we're gonna let you go to whatever team. I don't even care. He used to, back in, I want to say, a year ago, he used to have chances in Mexico with León, Grupo Pachuca, León, Pachuca, and even Cholos asked for him.
Mhm,
And Atlas, I believe it was the other team. It was three or four teams here in Mexico.
mhm,
But now that it's really out there what it's going on, which we already knew. I already talked about this in the spaces along way back. Uh, he thought, or his team or his friends or whatever, his manager even, his agent, I'm sorry, they thought that that injury, even though it's gonna be with him forever and ever, they thought that he wasn't gonna show up that fast, right? Because I remember the first 6 months he had, he was good. I mean, he was
Hmm.
playing really good. The game against Miami, he even scored a really good goal and whatever. But then that happened, and he hasn't been the same since. And
Hmm.
it's almost 2 years now. I believe it's 2 years now.
Yeah.
That whenever he kind of gets to a certain level, bah,
Hmm.
out. And again, how many times you're gonna? I mean, it is hard for us to ask the new management to make all these decisions that are not pretty much they are not theirs to take
Yeah,
because
you can't. i-
mm,
Again, I do not know why they extended his contract, but it's just like who's gonna take like you. While it's easy for us to say please get rid of him, you also have to go on the other side from another club's perspective and think,
mhm.
well, why would I accept a player with a bad back?
Yeah,
How long
right,
is he
yeah,
gonna last me? Why are you, even if I only pay him 50% of his wages or
exactly,
whatever,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
why would I do that? Why would I can just go for a healthier player? And it's just
mhm,
like there's times where either you're gonna have to buy him out, buy a player out, or it's just you're stuck with it until the contract is over.
yeah,
Sometimes you're lucky that with Sebastian Vegas you can loan him out, right? But
yeah.
in this case, this guy is compromised,
And
and
how
mm,
old is he? 31, 32,
he's
something like
30,
that.
31. Yeah, he's in his 30s
So
now.
he's old. I mean, even worse, he's getting old, obviously older, but now he's on an age
he
in an
if
age
he's
that
30, if he's 30, 31, I don't think he's a 30, 31 with that bad back. It probably feels like he's 37, 38 just because
exactly,
of
yeah.
that, right? Like he's 30, like age wise he's 30, 31, but
Mhm.
like physically he might feel
Exactly.
older just because of that.
And I mean,
And
that back is really, really annoying, bro. I mean, it's something that it's not gonna. I mean, it's different when it's I don't know your Achilles or
mhm,
your feet or whatever, because you kind of get used to it and use your other leg or whatever. But your back, there's no
there's
way around it. I
there's
mean,
you only have one. And
exactly.
he'll be 31 in September. So yeah, like
All
Dr.
right.
Noriega left this new
But what
regime
do you
with a lot
think?
of old players.
What do you think about that option that I was saying that maybe he could be like an
I
assistant
think
manager or whatever?
I think it depends on his if he wants to play. I think that it would just depend on if he like again, some
Yeah.
players have pride. It just depends on his
Well,
pride, depends on like I think I can still keep playing, you know.
at what level?
It's yeah,
That's the
yeah.
issue.
But I mean, like you said, business decisions don't have feelings, and if they have to make that, I mean, I think that would be the most supportive way to say, hey, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
we'll keep paying you what we owe you for this year, but can you please retire and take a
Mm-hmm.
coaching staff, right? But after that, it's just on the player to say, hey,
Yeah.
I feel like I can still keep playing, or that's if he feels he can still
Yeah.
keep playing, then Monterrey's gonna have to make that heartless type of decisions
It's gonna be
because you
really
can't.
hard to
Yeah,
it's gonna be really hard to
and
accommodate in any other team because now it's public business. Like
yeah,
when before it was kind of like not a rumor because it was factual, but it wasn't like this big news as it is right now. And
hmm
it's just
and you don't
it's
want
not.
to put him like have like as soon as the season starts, and he like you can see he can't handle you know
Mm-hmm.
playing
The
the way
rhythm.
Almeida wants, and it's just like you just damaged
Exactly.
whatever
Exactly.
interests that he might
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
yeah, they can't play him. They can't play
The,
him. They can't play him.
it's
There's no
just
way.
because it's gonna raise a lot of questions if he's able to hang. I don't know 4 or 5 games, and then he suddenly is benched. Everybody
Mhm.
is gonna assume that he's fucked up early. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there's no good way. I don't see any good way for him to come out on top of this situation because it's public knowledge now that he's hurting in
Yeah.
his back, right? So, quick thing at the beginning, you mentioned that there's that everybody is there. That hasn't nobody has left. Want to make a quick correction there. Canales and Marshall,
Oh yeah,
they're,
yeah.
they're
I mean, everybody that was supposed to, well, yeah,
yeah.
Martial's gone, Canales is gone, Mele is with Uruguay, but
Mhm.
it's assumed he's the one that's going to be out. Andrada, a lot of
He's
conflicting
there.
things. Some say he's going to stay. I mean, you saw the Almeida thing.
Mhm.
Um, and then there's other reports saying, well, he's going to stay for the preseason, and then after that, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
but they're going to have to make a decision.
he's been management. They're trying to accommodate him in another team. He has options. Uh, I think trying to remember. I believe one MLS team and a couple of Argentinian teams. They have a. I mean, that I know that they are asking for his situation. Um, Also, people say that no, because he's suspended 13, 14 games. I always tell people, remember that Canales got here and he was supposed to be suspended, but it's different leagues, different
Yeah.
set
Well, it
of rules.
depends. Like, if it's like because he got suspended for league games. I mean, you can still like, for example, if he were to play League's Cup,
Mhm.
that's not like a league. That's
Exactly. Exactly, yeah.
so he could still be able to play. Like, he could probably play if he's with with the Argentinian team. I don't even know. Like, do they have a domestic cup, or I don't even know how the league works anymore. But like, he could play like domestic cup. He can play international.
I don't think the
You know,
Argentinians know how their league works either.
I don't
Uh,
even. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
But anyway,
But,
I would
but
assume
wait,
that
wait,
most
wait.
of them are league games.
Yeah, but also remember, I remember specifically Canales' situation. Like it was FIFA at the end that said, "Well, it's all right, you can play," because there was a situation that he was suspended for I think 2 or 3 games, and he ended up playing the League's Cup, obviously, but then the beginning of the tournament and everything was okay. So I believe that if you get like kind of like a permit or something like that, or at least the okay from FIFA, you're good to go.
Yeah,
But yeah, they are not trying again. They're gonna try to either load them out or sell them or whatever. That's the first option. But if that doesn't happen, Almeida's not. He wouldn't complain if
yeah,
Andrade stays. That
yeah. Because
The Mele situation is 180 degrees.
yeah. You can't you can't have to go keep pouring, go keep. No, that would be a disaster. Um,
Mhm.
that's on yeah. So I think whatever happens there is supposed to happen. If he stays, Mm, maybe he picks up his profile and you can probably offload him in December for like
Mhm. Yeah.
peanuts, say whatever, pretty much almost free, or you pretty much have to swallow the contract again and just bite the bullet and be like, in a year,
Yeah.
his
No,
wages, everything will be out.
the thing with Andrade, like I tweeted out that if his World Cup's version of Andrade, I'm really okay with him. Like he was in a whole nother level,
But
but
how much is it just playing
exactly,
against those teams? Like, you're
exactly.
not playing like how is it and you're not playing against River, well, you're not playing against River Plate,
Mhm.
Inter
It
Milan.
happened to the rest of the players. Like
Yeah.
everybody, like sunk after
Yeah.
the World Cup. Like everybody was like, "Ah, you know what, against Mazatlan, fuck that," and
Yeah.
it's kind of
So
understandable.
it's
But yeah, and again, it was the thing with Andrada is that his mistakes actually cost goals.
mhm.
When, for instance, Mele, who did a lot of the same mistakes, almost every mistake. was saved by somebody else, or the striker missed a chance. I remember one in the Clásico, that he pretty much gave Correa like a clear opportunity, and Correa missed it. Uh, but I don't see him, at least with Rayados, getting to a good level because of everything he has gone through. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think that it's gonna work out.
Yeah, no. Oh man, and especially if Monterrey doesn't qualify for the Club World Cup, that mistake against Cruz Azul at the end, yeah, he's never. Yeah, you're gonna be like, well, that was an opportunity that win. And you look at how this Concacaf played out. None like you know it it's it's not like they couldn't have made it to the final if somehow things went their way. But anyways, let's go over to Cesar Garza, another player that's come back.
Hmm. From Pumas, yeah.
Almeida, yeah, Almeida has found success with Mexican players with Chivas, and something I wanted to touch on before we get into the transfer stuff, and you can tie this in with like De La Rosa. I feel like, and we've talked about this in the past, when Monterrey is successful, they have two, three, or four young
Hmm.
players, like youth players from their system, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, I mean, you have Fimbres, but he's in and out. It's not like, when you had Mier or Cesar Montes, right? Like players that like they're starters, right? They're
Hmm.
not maybe one day they'll start, maybe not, and stuff like that. Bona fide starters. And I feel like that's something Monterrey is missing. And I again going back to just the way people like in the last year, they had the scooter incident, you had this liposuction, like a lot of like disrespectful things to the club. Like people kind of, like I said, just see it as a, hey, they're just paying me money. I
Uh-huh.
feel like they lack some type of connection. I'm not saying
Hmm.
everybody has to love the club or something like that, but I do kind of miss those players that like
Commitment, the
root
commit.
for the club, or at least came up through the system and value the club because it gave them an
Hmm.
opportunity to be professional players. And I feel like that's kind of missing. I'm not saying you throw out any young player, but I feel like if you're telling me you're, between a Westo Reyes and a young player, you're gonna go with Westo Reyes, who's
Yeah.
finished. It's like, come on. And then Eric Aguirre, who has been robbing this club for like 3, 4 years now, uh, is made of glass. You can't find, a young player to say, you know what, I can take that role. And same with De La Rosa. It's just like I feel like Monterrey lacks those players that actually kind of, like I said, have some type of. And it's not like Monterrey doesn't have a good youth system. They're winning trophies at the youth level. It's just like
Exactly.
somewhere between the youth team and the first team. Somewhere is getting lost. And
Hmm.
so I feel like I would like for them to figure that out. Um, but where do you
It,
stand on Cesar Garza now that he's back, and just
I mean,
overall?
he showed a couple of interesting things when he played here with I believe it was with Tan Ortiz. Um, to your point, I remember that Tan Ortiz last 6 games in the tournament that everybody got injured, and I wouldn't mind if, for instance, a Cesar Bustos uh, showed also good things, or this Valenzuela kid, or there
Mhm,
is a couple of guys that you can try to get Almeida to seize those opportunities. Uh, but I don't see them, at least now. Maybe in a year from now, I'm gonna be saying a whole different thing. But I remember, for instance, when we saw Montes, you kind of knew he was gonna stay there because he was tall, he was built, he was uh um he had presence, and so on and so forth. Going back all the way to, for instance, I don't know, Arellano, to give you an example. You saw from the beginning, from the jump, you saw something different. Severo Mesa, Jonathan Orozco, Irán Mier, Yuka Paredes. I can go on and on, right?
Hmm.
I don't see that in these new kids, these new players, at least the ones that I already saw, except for Valenzuela. That Valenzuela kid,
Yeah, I want to
I
see.
really like that.
You don't see a lot of tall wingers, right? Like, well, Mexican tall wingers. If you
Mhm.
go to like Croatia and those like
Yeah, really.
Perisic is a tall winger, right? You don't see a
Mhm.
tall winger like that. So I would really like for him to come. Like, I don't know if they can recall him back
Yeah,
and just be like, here, let's play him.
that's it.
I'd rather see because shit. Who knows if Ocampos actually figures it out or
No.
Tecatito was
Mhm.
another slower. You
Yeah.
need some young legs,
Also,
and so I
also
would.
the thing is because people always say Almeida was good with Mexican players. Well, he had only Mexican players in Chivas, but I remember that the top guys that he had in his team, he didn't. I mean, I maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that he was the one who like discovered them because
Mhm.
you got a
No, they're already
Pizarro who
at
already
Pachuca.
was
Yeah,
Pachuca breaking shit up, right? You had a second wing Pulido. You had a Orbelin Pineda who already was
yeah, he was
showing good
already playing.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I I I don't want to say that just kind of like depends on how you tell the story, right?
I,
But here we're talking about finding, right? Finding new players and playing them, which is completely different than what happened with
hmm.
Chile. Uh, so hopefully, because as you said, we do have a good young player system. We are winning trophies all the way to under 21. So there is players, but we need to have a way to play them without giving them the actual responsibility of pulling everything or
Yeah.
pulling the weight, right? So
That's why
it's gonna be tough.
last year I was upset that they didn't play a lot of Leagues Cup. Right, this Leagues Cup
That,
round, you can't throw them out there because you need to at least get to the final or at least the
Mhm,
semifinals to try to see if you can. If you lose out in the semifinals, you can win that third place game. Like there's,
mhm.
it's not like we can just throw this away. No, we there has to take it seriously. But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So there's no. I mean, obviously, when you play two games in 1 week, you can rely on them there. But
Mhm,
I mean, we'll see. Like, I definitely want to see if the Denigris kid can play against like he can play against players a little bit older than him because he's like 18 playing against under 21. So
mhm,
players that are 2 years at the most older than him. But now it's like, okay, can you play against 30, you being 18, can you play against a
mhm.
30-year-old, with that
Yeah.
strength? It's
The
different.
only way to find out is I think that we're gonna go through a whole nother topic, so I'm just gonna point it out really quick. That's not the way of that's not Mexican way of playing players, except for Gilberto Mora, who's one of a thousand. Uh,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that he has that quality or whatever. No, I'm just saying that Tijuana should have shot
I don't want
and made it.
to.
That's it, right? But again, for me, I would specifically with Almeida. And if it was Turco, I would say the same thing. And if it was Almada, I would say the same thing. Or Hernan Crespo, the people who was rumored
Mhm.
to get here, because they are Argentinian and they know they can play a young player because the only way to know he's built for it,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're gonna do like they're gonna discover a Kun Agüero who played at
Yeah.
15 and shit,
Yeah.
but a kid who's almost 18, but he's built like he's tall,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah. You
strong.
look. Yeah.
I mean,
Especially if they don't have, like I said, like the Dinigris kid doesn't have the and the Valenzuela kid, they don't have like characteristics that you normally see from like
ex-
Mexican strikers attack.
exactly,
So that's why
exactly.
I'm curious. I want to see if they're like, is it different or
Mm-hmm.
because they just don't look. They don't look the way. They
Uh-huh.
don't look short.
Or,
They don't look super skinny. You know.
eh, yeah, you said it
Uh.
right. If we, is it different or is it the same with different players built different?
Yeah.
Like so,
Yeah.
but I mean, again, and I'm not saying this to bash anybody, but you have a kid like an 18 years old kid who's super built, like eating right, and you don't give him a chance, but you give a chance a guy who got a fucking liposuction. I mean, bro.
Yeah, that sends the wrong message. Like you said, I mean, you kind of used it with Juga. If I was like a 17, 18-year-old kid trying to break through, it's just like, well, what
It's
kind of
even
message are you
worse.
sending me?
It's even worse.
Uh,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
bro.
But let's go over well, the last two topics will be transfer stuff
Yeah.
and the World Cup stuff. So we got Minion, and we'll start it off there. Well, Monterrey signs Orbelin Pineda, which seems like it will finally happen. Well, it's like the third summer that they've gone after
Yep.
him. I like to see 4-2-3-1 with Fimbres, Ambris, Rodriguez, Torres as our midfielders with Pineda and Garza as our tens. I mean, yeah, I mean, like my expectation for this upcoming season is just try to win Leagues Cup or get one of the three spots in CONCACAF, and
Mm-hmm.
then find out what players you're going to keep, or experiment to see who you think is going to be a bit like,
Yeah, yeah,
obviously weird things can happen and you can win a trophy when you're not,
yeah.
you
Exactly.
can win the
Yeah.
league. I mean, if you qualify, I'm not taking that for
Stop.
granted anymore. But I
Exactly.
think to me the most important thing is like this is a process. He's here. Almeida's here for 2 years at least.
Mhm.
This tournament is like figure out what players, along with the four players that you'll bring over, are going to be part of your core, your team that you're like, these
You
are
have to apply
players
it.
we're going to
Yeah.
keep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like not everybody can leave, so you're just gonna have to be stuck with players like Ocampos until their contract is over or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the most important thing is one, finding your core in the transfer window, and then
Yeah.
figuring out which young Mexican players, and then what players of the existing players that are already here, um, are part of like something you want to build. And I
Yeah.
guess we'll start there with Orbelin. Um,
Okay.
it looks like, I mean, it depends. If I would kind of like wait to see if unless he does like a Cesar Huerta, who realizes, hey, I don't have a market here, I'm going to sign with Toluca.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but maybe, I mean, Orbelin still has a contract with the team in
Yeah.
Greece,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe he's like, hey, let me see how this all plays out, and maybe I can jump into one of the top six leagues, whether it's one of the top five or Netherlands or Portugal. Uh, and yeah, but
The
where do you see that happening?
the
Where are you at with
situation
that transfer?
the situation with him with Orbelin, I couldn't have a best insider that with that particular player because the guy that feeds me the information for particularly Orbelin, uh, he was really straightforward. He's on the verge of signing his renewal. The release clause is 8 million, and he wants to come back. That's the more important. The most important thing is that it's not because he doesn't have a market. He's really loved
Hmm.
in Greece, like really loved. But he also knows that he got to a peak. Now it's time to go
Yeah,
back to
he's
training.
30, 31.
Mhm. Now the thing with him, aside of the fact that it's been 2 years now that they try to sign him, I really like him. Like as a player, we don't have a player like that. Like you can say, well, Oliver Torres kind of do. You need to put together Oliver Torres and Fidel Ambris. or Oliver Torres and Fimbres to find our Orbelin, because he is good when it comes to the offensive side of things, and he is good when it comes to defending. Like he has this how can I say it? The stamina to go back and forth for a long time. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Well, I'll finish off on that. I I think it just depends on the price tag. If you're going north of 10 million, um, yeah, 30-year-old, I guess you can stomach it if you feel like he can give you 2 or 3 years and be part of your core. And yeah, yeah,
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
no,
I get to your point. Now he's the exception. I want to be really clear with this. He is the exception of when it comes to the age thing.
mhm,
Why? Because everybody else that they are looking for, at least that I know of, everybody is under 30. Everybody. Now he's like we were saying with Corcho. Corcho, he's gonna be 31, right?
mhm,
But
yeah,
his physique is 42, right?
yeah,
It's the exact opposite with Orbelin. He's 31, but he has been gone for quite a while,
yeah,
and that helps you a lot when it comes to you're eating right, you're exercising right, you don't need a liposuction. So everything comes into place. So when you come back, I I do want to see him here. The first 6 months, he's gonna be better than everybody.
yeah,
Maybe later he's gonna get accustomed and eat chicharrón again, and he's gonna be a little bit on the lazy side of things. Maybe I don't know, but the first 6 months, you're gonna see that gap between Europe and Mexican league
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
rate of
Yeah, I mean, you saw it
play.
with Arteaga. That
Yeah,
first 6 months, he
exactly.
was super good, and then
Yeah,
now it's just like it's just, dude, you're are you even better than Jesus Gallardo at this point, right? Because
no, he's not.
that's
No.
who you were. I mean, that those first 6 months, he was better than him, but
Mm-hmm.
it's all mindset. It's like, and again, that's where I think you're gonna have to have a discussion. Like, it's cool to get a Mexican player from Europe, but like, is he gonna have that same mentality? Because you're trying to win trophies. I mean, this club hasn't won a
Exactly.
trophy since 2021. You kind of
Mm-hmm.
need players that are committed, not gonna take advantage of, they're having a lucrative contract and
Mm-hmm.
saying fuck it. Because I mean, I'm just tired of it. I'm
Yeah,
just
maybe,
I'm just
yeah.
kind of tired of it already. So I think it would
Mm-hmm.
I would be okay with it depending on his mindset. I just don't want an Arteaga where who we get
Yeah,
like
no,
the
no.
6 months of like really good, you know, elite level, and
And then
then he just drops off completely. It's just
yeah,
nosedives. And so I
I
think it
don't
just
think
depends on that.
I don't think that I mean not to that point because not to that point because they are built different and they play
Hmm.
different positions. And when you're playing a little bit more on the offensive side of things, he's not striker, so you're not gonna actually judge him if he strikes or not. So it's kind of different when it comes to defending. If you don't defend, you're fucked, right? So I think that and also it's really important that Almeida already coached him here in Chivas and over there for I think it was 2 years or something like that. So he already like he knows the mindset. He knows that Almeida needs to win something. Maybe not, as you said, maybe not in December, but he has to understand that he's building a team to have the possibility of disputing at least finals again next
Hmm.
year and a couple more, right? Is what I was told about that I didn't mention yesterday in my space. what I was told that about the Almeida staff and his way of thinking is that he's trying, like he's gonna try to extend that 2 year contract to a 3, 4, 5
Hmm.
years because he's really comfortable in Mexico, first of all, and more importantly, his family, especially his daughters, are really, really, really comfortable in Mexico. They already were here, obviously. Guadalajara and Monterrey are not that far from each other
Yeah,
when it comes to infrastructure and
yeah, yeah.
something like that. So,
And he's always
eh,
stayed for like outside of Sevilla. Like he's stayed 4 years in Greece. He stayed 4 years with the San Jose Earthquake. He stayed 4 years with Chivas. So he kind of gives you at least four
exactly.
years. If everything's going well, he gives you four
It's
years
kind of
at
like
least.
Turco. With Turco, you already know he's not gonna stay.
Yeah,
Whatever.
at the most
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah, at the most two
Mhm.
years.
Yeah. But yeah,
But
I do want to see him. Um, I am, even though mm, I'm not gonna say like I'm super excited, but it is a player that I do want to see play here. Like I do want to see what he brings to the table. Because back when he was in Chivas, and even before that, he was a really good player. So I
mhm,
want to see what he brings to the table. And as you said, it gives you an opportunity to use a couple of Mexicans more than if you don't have them, right?
mhm,
So because it's not the same. But
yeah.
yeah, that's what I think.
So let's. I mean, it's not the thing with the like the other you know transfer rumors. There's really nothing. Like it's just a lot of people throwing names. And people criticize you for like throwing names, but it's just like, oh, this player's an option. Well, what does that mean? Because is it like at the top option, or is it somewhere in between
Yeah,
below? It's
yeah.
just,
The thing
but
here is, I mean, to be completely frank and honest about the transfer rumors, is that the established media who are supposed to have information and have sources and whatnot, they just fucking copied what I did last 3 years. But the difference is that you can actually go back and see that the names that I threw out, they were in those. Like Moura was almost here.
yeah,
Brunetta, Osiel Herrera, the names that I named, at
yeah,
some point somebody confirmed. Now they are just throwing names to throw out there. I mean, they said Troy Parrott, hell no. Mateus Doria, hell no. I mean, you don't. If you're gonna be like that without information, at least investigate a little. Like try to put a little bit of effort so you don't throw out names that makes no fucking sense. You're gonna bring a player like Mateus Doria, who's like 37, I don't
dude,
know,
yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
He's 32. It doesn't fit. Like
Makes
it
no
doesn't
sense.
fit it doesn't make sense and cost. I mean, he's a foreigner just because he's nationalized Mexican. He's never played with the Mexican national team an official game. It's the same thing with Berterame. They never played official games,
Mhm.
so he counts as a foreigner. It's not like Fidalgo or
Exactly.
Funes Mori who have played official games
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
it does.
but
They don't
the,
count.
the, what I do know, like I was talking about it yesterday. Um, they are trying to get as many offensive players, as many foreign offensive players as they can, which I think is good. Because let's go to spade a spade, right? Mexicans, we're good defending when it comes to
Mhm,
football, right? We don't have like our top strikers, Raul Jimenez, and he's kind of like, right?
mhm,
To the point that you had to bring Julian Quinones and San Jimenez and even Berterame had a shot, right? So that speaks volume of that position in particular. So remember, you're letting go Canales, right? and Marshall already left also. Mele is pretty much gone. Stefan Medina is up to him to go or not. But I'm being told that he's gonna leave, but nothing official yet, right? So there's 4 or 5 spots in the at the moment with the Cesar Monte situation or Ramon Juarez situation. You have that center back position filled with a Mexican, which I think is good. Then Orbelin Pineda, who can be like a 6 or 8, or maybe even just playing it on the inside, right? So you had that, which is gives you the freedom to later get rid of Bolivar Torres. That's another spot. So you're gonna have 3 spots to choose from. So what I've been told is that they want to have like the big name, like the striker, like the one who's gonna sell tickets. And number 10, which is odd because it was almost banished, like that position, except for Argentina, that they are pretty much the only country who plays with the number 10. They are trying to bring a number 10 and a really good striker. And I was told yesterday about this Simeone kid, who's not a top player, but in case of Duca's decision to go, right? So what I'm seeing is that if the idea is to understand really good how Mexican league goes about, you are gonna have the advantage of having the top players like making the difference in the actual game, right? What I would add is I would add a good goalkeeper. That's the only thing. Like if you gotta go
Mhm.
to another country to get a goalkeeper, I would do it
Yeah.
because you don't have a I don't want to say that Munch is not good, but he's not on that level to win your
Hmm.
trophy. Like
Yeah.
he's not.
He's a
So
good
I would,
backup,
I
but
would do it.
nothing. Yeah. It's one thing to
Mm,
be a good back. It's one thing to be a good backup, and then another
exactly,
thing to be a good starter.
exactly, like that. So for instance, right now, if you say, you know what, I can get you Acevedo, I would be right. It's the same thing. It's like nobody in Mexico as a goalkeeper, like a Mexican goalkeeper, is over the top, right? Like before when we had Jonathan Orozco, Osvaldo Sanchez, Talavera, they were playing on another level. So I would I know that they are kind of like testing the waters in Argentina, specifically Racing and San Lorenzo, I think is the other. Cambeses and Orlando Hill to be completely forward. Those are the type of goalkeepers like 25, 26,
Hmm.
tall, good with their feet,
He,
uh, leaders, like that type of situation that they try to find with Mele, which didn't happen. But
yeah.
I would definitely go for a goalkeeper because my center back is gonna be Mexican. All right, perfect. Then my number 5, which potentially would could be Nandes on another level too, and my 10, my striker, like the
Hmm.
core, as you said,
Yeah.
has to be like that. If you want to win trophies, you have to just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. I agree. They can't. I'm not. I like Munchies, but he just can't. It's not somebody that I would be like, yeah, that guy is the starting goalkeeper for a team that's trying to win the league. Good backup, a guy that can maybe play 3 or 4 games if your goalkeeper gets hurt or suspended or something like that, but not someone that you give them the responsibility to. And the center back, I know a lot of people want Cesar Montes back. I think it would just depend on what happens at this World Cup. If it's an okay World Cup, maybe I would give a little bit more, you know, uh, like okay, I would believe a little bit more that he might consider returning.
Hmm.
Um, but then you had La Monaco from Independiente, who is
Hmm.
wanted by Grupo Pachuca to be
Hmm.
put with León and Tigres. Um, I I'm not the biggest fan of Salcedo, and I don't think Toro Guzman is like a number one leader type of center back that's going to organize your back line and going to be a leader. I don't see that in him. He's a good number two type of center back, like not somebody that's like okay, your typical captain center back. I don't see him as that. I
Yeah.
just
No.
see him as a good number two guy. We don't I don't think Monterrey has that type of center back. It would depend on if they can get it this summer. I would like for them to get it this summer. um I mean, there's just so many things. Like it has to be a list of like, okay, what can we get this summer? I think they need to get a better striker. If they're
Hmm.
going the number 10 route, then they have to do that. And then to me, it's goalkeeper, center back. Like obviously, I'm concerned about the wingers in terms of like depth.
Yeah.
The fullbacks, I we have a pues Reyes who is Finnish. You have an
Hmm.
Arteaga who is form has dropped significantly. We'll hopefully Almeida, he's not that old that he can, you know,
Yeah.
rediscover him again. And then the
Rescue.
right back situation, I'm really
Mhm.
concerned because there's nothing there. Like Riga Chavez doesn't give me anything, and Eric Aguirre is always hurt. And but yeah, I think right now the most important thing is the striker position. If they're gonna go number 10 route, go the number 10 route.
It's just
Um,
that as you said it best. You have to you have to figure out what's really urgent for you to build a team. Like it's
mhm,
different when you already have positions set, right? Right now, if you tell me that Almeida is looking to substitute the entire starting 11 that played the last game, I would be okay with it, right?
mhm,
Because there's not much to rescue other than Orellano that could, or maybe this is just another bet, right? But again, you have to start. It's football, bro. It's not rocket science. I mean, everybody knows that you have to have a good goalkeeper, a good center back, a good midfielder, and a good striker. You can even like say, you know what, number 10, maybe I'm getting a little too excited. I'm not gonna go for it. Just get a good like those four positions.
yeah.
Then now that you have those four, whether they're Mexicans or foreigners, whatever the case may be, now you can play 6 months with the rest of the team that you already have. And in December, which is gonna be another 2, 3 movements at best, then you can start picking and choosing, right? Like the left center back, the right center back, the this guy, the other guy. By the time that you get to the next summer transfer window, you're already gonna need just 3 or 4 movements, right?
Mhm,
And you're gonna have like your team. That's another thing
mhm,
that people are kind of like are not considering because when I talk to on WhatsApp chats and whatever, or even in spaces, they are not considering the fact that it's gonna be pretty much the same squad at
mhm.
least for a year. So
Yeah.
how you gonna measure Almeida's success with the same thing is kind of like you have to face facts first. You're rooting for a team that has only 5 leagues in 80 years. First of all, that I really want people to know that and have that ingrained in their brains. I'm not saying that we're gonna be like that forever, no, but at least history has a way to repeat itself, right? The second thing is that you bring in a new guy with a whole new project, and not just one guy. You have the president, you have your sports manager, and your coach, right? So that's 3 guys that are completely new with a whole new project that they're gonna need new players. They're gonna need a new idea. They're gonna need a new everything, right? So that's gonna take time. So I'm not, to be completely honest, I'm just trying to see if we can get to a third place on the League Cup, so we can get to CONCACAF.
Hmm.
Other than that, I'm not expecting them to
Hmm.
win the league or to win even the League's Cup or even to win the league from January to May. I'm being completely honest. Maybe, as you said, it's football and anything can happen.
Hmm.
Hopefully, but again, I think it's gonna do more damage if you win something with these liposuctions type of players than if you don't. Because if you don't, then you're certain that they don't just play shit. You can get rid of
Yeah.
everybody because they have no trophy, no
Yeah.
nothing backing them up, right?
Yeah. Um, and yeah, you see it on Twitter. People are kind of like anxious. They want one, at least one per, like they want one transfer to already happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, it depends. If they're not going after a player that's playing for a national team at the World Cup, I think they should be able to get things done
Next
sooner. It
week,
just depends.
next week they're gonna announce at least two players. You just wait and see. Next week they're gonna announce one Mexican and one foreign. Mark my
Yeah.
words.
And I'm, like I said, I'm just curious to see what type of foreigners too. Like I'm hoping, um, with this experience in the Netherlands. Obviously, like I think I've told you, it's a lot easier to convince a foreign player to go to, Feyenoord. But
Mm-hmm.
you know,
To come to
with,
Mexico.
with Monterrey, I mean, they've been at the Club World Cup. The city is hosting a World Cup. Like at this point, if you're not using that to your advantage to say, hey, this is a really good city.
Quick
That,
question, quick question, quick question. And I want to ask you because you're not embedded in
mhm.
Monterrey way of thinking, like the people here. Do you think we, well, not we, but the club didn't actually seize the opportunity of being like the city was gonna is gonna be like in the World Cup. So if we go 2 to 3 years back, we were thinking that we're gonna have top players because they want to show the city, and when they come to the stadium, they see a lot more trophies and whatever. Do you think we didn't actually? How can I ask the question? I'm trying to see how to ask it, but I don't think we are at that level of a World Cup as a team because we missed 3 years with Tata Noriega.
Yeah.
Tata
Hmm.
Noriega's bullshit. So, do you think we
Yeah.
could have done better?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I mean, uh, I think the Sergio Ramos one.
You
I
tell me.
don't think it went. I don't think it was disappointing. He still showed he can play. It's not like he was washed, right? Where it's like, oh damn, yeah, this guy just can't play.
Like Marshall.
Um, yeah, yeah. It wasn't a Martial where it's just like, yeah, this guy is done. He's cooked. I think because Tato wanted to win now, he put all his chips in the table for players that are 30 and older. There's nobody here that's like an international player that you can market.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean that player's gone now. But he was at the end of like he was at the end. Like it was it's not like a player that's like 27, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or like because they're gonna have a lot of like foreigners going into your stadium. I mean, I don't think they're gonna like have the
Exactly.
like things are going to be covered up with FIFA stuff, but they're going to ask like who plays here, like what team plays here, right? I mean,
You see it on Twitter.
I guess
Mm-hmm.
we'll start with like we'll cross over to the FIFA stuff because now I'm just tiptoeing there. But you saw like the Japanese reporters like they were like, oh, the reason why it's gaining or the training route situation with Japan was because there's a rivalry. It's one of them is for one club
Mhm.
and was the so they kind of picked up on like, and I'm going to assume people who are going to the games are kind of like that. They're like, okay, who plays here? Why is this a big story here? And
Mhm.
so and so forth. But I don't think Monterrey kind of like took advantage.
Exactly. Exactly.
Maybe this kind of like, for example, you had the going back for like the Hector Moreno thing kind of like was like the first domino on things to fall with
Mhm.
Sergio Canales and all that stuff. Maybe this is like the first domino to fall and you do something. I mean, you got a guy now who's in charge, who has been the head of one of the biggest clubs in the Netherlands. So you had that cachet.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it was a missed opportunity. It's yeah.
No, I,
There's yeah.
the thing that I would specifically do different, I would have Sergio Ramos here.
Mhm.
Because he doesn't even need to play, bro. He is like, he is Sergio Ramos. So, what better from the players that you can actually get, obviously? If you already had that guy, imagine he was here, like, welcoming Japan, Sweden, every single player from those teams was gonna say like, "Wait, what? Sergio Ramos?
Yeah.
I wanna
Yeah.
play here, bro." Like, see what I'm saying? Like that. Like again, and I'm not trying to kick a dead horse, but that specifically that decision, the way they approached that with Sergio Ramos, like Tato Noriega and Hector Lara, fucked things up for Monterrey
Yeah.
because they already had that guy. Like, I mean, Canales, yes, obviously he was really known in Spain, but only in Spain.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, only in Sevilla, like
Yeah.
Betis, Sevilla rivalry,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's pretty much it.
Mhm.
Like his prime, I'm talking about, right? He already
Yeah.
he played at Madrid and whatever, but his prime it comes down to just one city and one rivalry, right? Sergio Ramos was that guy. Like, I don't get why you're not able to see the things that you could have done having a guy like that here again, even if it was already 40 or 41 or whatever. You not you That's the type of player that you know he knows he's at the end of his career. So if you bench him, he wasn't gonna be like, fuck you,
Yeah.
I wanna play. He
Yeah.
knows what's going on. If
Yeah.
somebody knows he's a player at that level, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they
I mean,
missed that
it
opportunity
it
to
could have
pick
been
him.
it could if Martial actually gave a shit, it could have been him
Right,
because he played for Man United, was a former
right,
Golden Boy.
right.
Like I said, like, if he actually went there and gave a shit, that would have been helpful. But
I
now
still
it
think
won't.
that that play that he misses against America when he debuted his first game, the chance that he missed,
Hmm.
that was like a butterfly effect for everything else.
Yeah.
If he would
Yeah.
have scored there, like the first game, like, I remember his wife was all excited, like
Yeah. Yeah.
recording and shit. Like, imagine if that went in, it would have been a
It's
completely
confidence
different.
builder. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's yeah. That was a sign of how the situation was gonna go. Um. But let's wrap up with uh World Cup stuff because obviously you're in a city that's going to be hosting a lot of games and a lot of foreigners and a lot of we already started seeing it with the Japanese media.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know there was a Japanese school like I mean, I knew there was Japanese people. I didn't know there was like a Japanese school um in in the city, so that was cool to know or to learn. But like let's go with the pitch stuff. That was hilarious. Like for me, that was like the most hilarious thing that could come out of that thing. Because yeah, Japan said, you know, and and Tigres had to apologize because they were like,
That's
here's a
fucked up.
vase and here's a letter, even though the letter was kind of dirty at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean,
um
if somebody, I mean, I, I want to try to say this with a straight face, but If you know a team that doesn't have a clue of how to handle international situations,
Yeah.
that's them.
Yeah.
So why would you try? I mean, again, and it's nothing against like the university or whatever. 'Cause I actually like the university. I didn't went there, but all right. But like like we're from here. We know that they're like medicina where they try to have the training. Those facilities, even for us when we were like amateur players, it was shit, bro. I mean, in like there's better fields than that elsewhere, right? Now, again, it went viral precisely because of the rivalry, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously we were gonna make fun of it. So everybody was like, wait. It's
Well,
not
what's the
just
story? Like, why? Yes, because that's what like the
because
Japanese were like. Whoa, what's going on? Like, why is this a big story?
and also like people were trying to say Monterrey. No, no,
Yes.
sir.
Mm-hmm.
No, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Monterrey. Like you have to call spade a spade. Like they train in Suazo, which is not Monterrey, or in San Nicolas, which is not Monterrey. That one, Medicina, it is in Monterrey, but again, it's part of the university. So
Yeah.
nothing
And the
to do
club
with
has
us.
the name, like the club, and you don't want the because the club has the city name. You don't
Exactly.
want to be associated with. No, 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 no. That's that club.
The I wish the guy like the CM for TikTok, like Raya's TikTok, was the same for Twitter because he was he
Yeah.
was going like
You could
in
just be
like
like,
in and we do appreciate like that because it's healthy like it's a healthy rivalry. I don't want to say like that you should hit him or whatever. No, just that like the innocent jokes, right?
yeah.
But again, they even try, they even try to make up for it, and they I noticed too,
Dude, I'm
like the
amazed.
letter was dirty. I'm sure that it was written in Korean or some shit like that. I know for a fact that like they messed it up in another way because they are like that with international stuff. But again, right now, like the feeling of the city, um, just starting to see it. Like I live about 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from BBA Stadium or Monterrey Stadium, and there's like a huge. I don't know what I don't know how to say operativo
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
like a plan for every rescue. Well, like the police, uh,
yeah, yeah,
with this big plan, they're gonna close entire avenues for hours. They're gonna have like a okay zone for drinking or whatever. Then the governor from here, he's doing kind of like a mirror type of situation with the fan fest, but it's gonna be free, and they're gonna have drinks out also in carne asada. So like I'm starting, and I you know me, bro. I don't give a fuck about like the national team. We're
hmm
from we root for teams. That's pretty much it. But every 4 years, you kind of like remember, oh wait, Mexico's playing. Let's see what's up.
hmm
But when it comes to the city, Monterrey as a city itself loves foreigners, bro. Like I'm not saying chirihuillos, no, for actual foreigners. Uh, because we love to welcome these other cultures. You saw it with
hmm
Iraq
yeah, a lot of.
and in Bolivia
Hmm.
even.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be really fun. Obviously I'm gonna go to the games.
And
Um,
and it's weird
it's
when that culture takes in your like the I don't know if you
exactly
saw the there was a Japanese post. The guy was drinking carta blanca, and so it's
exactly
just
yeah
weird.
yeah
It's just weird when you
exactly.
see like a
And that's
random other.
that's the point. I mean, there was a guy from Monterrey saying, "Take this beer." eat this particular dish, go to this particular restaurant. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's a guy there who's saying these things to them. Like, I want to see on Sunday, I believe is the first game here. It's gonna be nuts, bro. Because again, there's people from all over the world, especially obviously the teams are gonna play here. But us as a people, we are really are welcoming, and it's gonna be fun. I mean, I already
Yeah.
learned how to say in Japanese. I'm just with her for the kids and shit like that. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to do what you have to do, right? Like, I'm picturing myself in an OXXO drinking with all the Japanese boys, like, or maybe the Swedish.
Yes. Yes.
But it's weird. I wasn't here for the 86 World
86.
Cup. Yeah, so it's even though it's not actually here, which would have been awesome. I think that we do have stadiums to hold an entire World Cup.
Let me
Monterrey, Chivas, Torreón, Tijuana, as obviously the Estadio Azteca, La Corregidora,
the
not San
Puebla
Nicolas.
Stadium. I think
Sorry,
the
not San.
Puebla Stadium, they because they had the
Mm-hmm.
Spain Peru game, and I think it was a Spanish account that said, "Oh, what the hell is this stadium? It looks nice."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we have 7, 8 stadiums that are built properly, right? So we could have, but again, I mean, even though it's a few games, I'm actually getting excited about them. Like I
I
didn't
think it's
think that
gonna be
was.
more like hold on, let me before we go into that because I have a let me answer the question. It's Oliver says sup guys, y'all think that the this transfer window would be good for Monterrey if they can get a goalkeeper, a number one center back, a striker, and if they're gonna go with the number 10, or depending on what style they're gonna play, whether it's like getting the number 5 or number 10, I think that would be good. Obviously, there are other holes on the team,
Yeah, yeah,
but like we just talked about, you need to prioritize what you have to have and then go from there. I think that's going
yeah.
to be the issue there. And then Rompas is on a stream before 10 p.m. as well. Um, and yeah, uh, he's never on.
It,
we
it,
need to start on time.
it depends. If you're in the east side, it's far away from like past.
Yeah,
That's 8 or 10 or whatever. Like, it's just because yesterday I said that it was gonna be 9, and I ended up starting at 10. And I kind of always do it.
yeah.
People is gonna understand at some point that I do it on purpose just to have you there. Like if I always were
Actually, like,
on time, like nobody would give a fuck. Like this guy again, 8 o'clock, he's on time. Nobody would. But when I do that, like start late or even don't do it, I have everybody fucking tagging me for an entire week. What's up with the space? Hey, yo, what up? So you're gonna get it at some point.
and then you got another question. ¿A quién no se le ocurrió poner subtítulos? Well, I mean, we're not. It's just me and you. There's nobody else. We don't
I
have
don't need
a
it. I
producer. We
don't
don't
need
have
it.
a producer. Uh,
I don't,
but
we don't. I don't need subtitles. I mean, I think we have enough bars.
see, I mean,
But you, if you see,
if you ask something in Spanish, we're gonna answer it in Spanish. We're not gonna be like, oh no, we're not gonna like, no, si lo pones en español, pues lo hablamos en español. And
but you, if you watch it in YouTube, it has subtitles.
I think it should. I don't know. Maybe I don't
It
know.
has.
Or
I
do
know
I
for a
got
fact.
to?
It
Yeah,
has. It's,
yeah.
people is lazy. That's it.
I mean, but if hey, si preguntas una pregunta en español,
I
pues
won.
lo
I
hacemos,
won.
lo vamos a.
On my English side of the brain,
Is
I'm not gonna answer
yeah.
anything in Spanish. Fuck you. No.
But going back to the World Cup stuff, we'll end that stuff there. The other thing that went viral, your friend Willie Gonzalez was outed as a racist by the Japanese because I guess he was. I don't know if he was defending or I don't know. I don't know. I
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
forgot the
He
comment. But
was
either way,
defending.
he
He was
started
defending.
saying
Yeah.
things that wasn't Japanese.
He was
I'm not gonna say it
mocking.
because I don't want to say, I don't want them to think,
Oh,
he
I
was saying
could
things
because
that
I
was,
look Japanese. I could because I
yeah,
look, right? But even I know it's just. I mean, he only needed to say like the slur word for Asian people, or maybe a stereotype, and that would be like the cream of the pie, right? Why does he does that? Because he knows he's gonna go viral, right? Like
yeah,
he does it on purpose. But I really think that he fucked it up this time because you ended up like they took it as racism, and that shit
yeah,
is not to play with, especially how FIFA is doing stuff with the screaming shit and whatever.
yeah, yeah,
So it was, I mean, again, it was funny. I did laugh because obviously it's something that we as Mexicans do, make fun of everybody. But he took it a little bit too far, right? I wouldn't do it. I
on a
even
radio,
though
like on public, like,
and
I mean,
again,
when people,
you're supposed to be a professional, bro. Like
yeah,
if I do it,
it's
I'm a
it's
Twitter guy, so fuck it, right? But he I mean, imagine the image the Japanese people have of Mexican media is that fucker, bro. I mean,
yeah.
hell no, bro. Hell no, hell no. But it was fun though. It was fun.
Yeah, so that was like, I'm just, and then there was the Brazilian girl or Brazilian reporter, um today. I don't know if it was in, I think it was in Guadalajara. I'm assuming because of the mariachis. I don't know. I don't know. It was somewhere, but
Mhm.
they ended up giving her the Chado gun, and she she in Portuguese, she pretty much said, she said, told the mariachis to play while pointing the gun. I don't know if you've seen that video. You gotta go find it.
No.
Find it right when we're done. I retweeted it, so go on my profile and you'll find it. Yeah. So, yeah, those are things you're not gonna see in the U.S. You're not gonna see somebody
Exactly.
point a gun,
You
point a gun
only
at
gonna see
somebody,
this Mexico. A guy
point
from
a
the
gun at
news
it.
make mocking Japanese people. You're only gonna see that in Mexico. That situation with the mariachi, you're only gonna see like that's to be and things like I mean, bro, we're the country who urinated on the actual Olympics game flame, which is fucking
Yeah,
like awful. We are the country that does that type of. It's just, it is what it is, and
yeah,
it's only beginning, bro.
yeah.
Like
It's not
you
even. It
got
hasn't
a
even started. It still doesn't start until Thursday.
yeah,
And then like the games are, like you said, the first game in Monterrey is on Sunday, right? You said
yeah,
Sunday,
yeah,
right? So you're not even. It's not even. The
yeah.
fun hasn't even started. To me,
It's gonna,
the group stage is gonna be like this first month, because the group
mhm.
stage and at the end of this month, it's just gonna be hilarious. We
It's gonna
have
be like you have to if you don't have Twitter, I fully recommend you that just
mhm,
build an account just for the World Cup. You don't even have to follow me. I don't give a fuck. But because if you like racism jokes, like nation to nation rivalry on like live, like really really harsh,
mhm.
gonna be on Twitter, bro. Like
Yeah, it
I'm fully prepared and expecting like if we for whatever reason faced Argentina again, it's gonna
mhm.
go bananas.
Well, you already see like there's a chance, there's a possibility that if Mexico finishes atop their group, they can play England, and England right now is struggling with the weather in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they were in Florida, and they
Yes.
were showing the pictures of them hot, like it was just
Mhm.
like they're having a horrible time, and so they
Yeah,
were
I
like,
saw. I
well, if
saw.
they
I
have
think
to
it was
come, if they have to come to
exactly.
Mexico, it's
Exactly.
just
Oh,
gonna be
it's gonna
hilarious.
be. It's good. I mean, that's why when it comes to the actual World Cup, like the games and stuff, I really think that we can get I'm not gonna be super optimistic about it because again, I don't give a fuck about the national team. But I really think that it is set for Mexico to get at least to quarterfinals because of everything that is around of the World Cup. Because again, if you face, for instance, an England team here in Mexico at 1 p.m., over, bro. Over. It's over. You're not gonna find a team from Europe to handle the weather as good as obviously they would at their own third. But it is what it is. Like the same thing happened when Mexico goes to Europe to play. Like it is the same.
Hmm.
But I did see I think it was Hurricane like
Yes, that's
all real, like all
man.
sweating and shit. I was laughing so hard because they trained like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, something like that, because it was so hot. Like, bro, it's not even that hot. If you come to Mexico, oh my god! And
And that's not
again,
even talking about the out. Like if they play in Mexico City, it's not even talking about the altitude. So let's
no,
just
yeah,
do take a.
the thing is, I mean, I'm already imagining like these people dressed as Vikings because Sweden,
Yeah.
they definitely don't look like Vikings. So that's gonna be one.
Yeah.
The other thing is South Korea is playing here also. That also is gonna be fun because of obviously again the same thing that happened with Japan is gonna happen with South Korea because for Mexicans in general everything is Chinese. So it's gonna be it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something else. I'm looking forward to it actually.
Wait, is there one? And I'll end on this. Is there one like not like that you're curious to see? Like we just said, you saw a Japanese reporter drinking carta blanca. You saw the mariachi stuff.
Mhm.
You see like obviously it's barely beginning, so you're barely starting to see like
Yeah.
the funny things that happen at a World Cup.
Yeah.
Is there something like whether it's one national team, whether what's something that's gonna be like kind of like a shit I never expected to be like
You're trying to
living
get
in
me
this
canceled, bro.
timeline.
I see where you're going. You're trying to get me canceled. Trying to trying for me to
Well,
stay
look,
safe.
I knew there was like South Koreans living in Mexico, but like
Mhm.
it's weird when you see like a South Korean talking like with an accent of like a Chilango accent, and it's just
Mhm.
like it's just like,
Mhm.
what timeline am I living? Because I've seen with like because there was the South Koreans were in Guadalajara now, and like there I think it was on Fox on their Instagram account. They were talking to this I think South Korean mom and daughter, right? But they interviewed the daughter first, and she is talking like someone from Mexico City, and it's just like a like it's just like a like
Over
what
here,
am I?
over
Yeah.
here, we have an actual city, Pesqueria, which we call Pescorea because it's where Kia is they have their plant. So we do have Koreans like Regio Coreanos. So it's gonna be really weird to hear my accent. Well,
Dude,
not that
imagine
way if
somebody
you see me,
imagine a
but
it's gonna be hilarious if like a Korean or a Japanese television goes because there are Mexicans that like look Asian, right?
yeah.
Like literally I have one right. They're gonna be like, konnichiwa or sumimasen, sumimasen, and then you're gonna be like, I'm not Asian.
Excuse it's gonna be like soy de aquí, güey, de qué hablas, güey? I want a reporter like because we know like remember back when Jansen was here, like we had a blast watching the reporters try to speak English. So it's gonna be fun first for a reporter to be struggling trying to interview somebody speaking in English, and if the person ended up being from here, it's gonna be awesome, bro. It's gonna be
I'm gonna because I don't know if you ever seen Japanese TV. Like they always like interview the randomest people on
yeah.
the streets of like Tokyo and shit like that. So I'm just curious when the games actually start like that week before. I would assume they'll be here like a week before that game against Tunisia. that they're just
Yep.
like interviewing random people in that
It's
area
gonna,
where you said they're having everything blocked and all that stuff. Well,
it's
it's
gonna be
gonna be
fun.
fun. It's gonna be fun, man. It's already started. But
I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see if I have time to actually create content. I'm trying to do it, bro. Like I'm trying to go there because I want to see first their reaction to me, like right, like what do they think about me, right? But
were you
obviously,
born like? Are you Japanese descent? I'm like, are you Asian
yeah, like,
descent or something like that?
right. Well,
Is
so it's gonna be. But again, we have journalists here that we know they're not like they cannot add two and two together in Spanish. So I'm looking forward to it for them to
yeah,
try to see what they're gonna do now that they're not gonna be on their comfort zone, right? It's gonna
yeah.
be it's gonna be
It's gonna be
different.
hilarious. Like you saw it with the Japanese too. Like you saw some people who were trying to like talk to them in Spanish, and luckily they were talking to people that live in Monterrey. Like you said, there's auto plants there, so
Mhm.
there are people
That,
there. So, but people
that's
are gonna be
so,
struggling.
but that's so Mexican, bro. Like that's so assume that they are going to relate Spanish with some word and understand it. That's so Mexican, bro. Like people just come out like, "Hola, cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás?" Like, bro, they don't speak Spanish, bro. Like, or saying shit like
Or
"konnichiwa" and
mm,
"arigato" and
yeah,
"kamasayo," whatever the shit that like
yeah.
it's gonna be fun, bro. It's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be
gonna, but like I said, it's gonna be like when you hear like I said, the Koreans, when the ones that I saw on the Fox Instagram account, where like they're talking, like one of them talks like from one like a Chilango accent, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, I mean it's cool. It's cool. I mean, if you learn a new language and you live in a city, you're gonna pick up that accent.
yeah,
So
obviously.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Rompas, anything else you want to add before we go?
Big shout out to all my rompistas. Big shout out to everybody who joined in. And if you're watching this on the rerun, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe and whatever.
Subscribe.
Um, to kind of sum it up a little bit, the transfer window talk. I'm pretty sure that by next week we're gonna have a couple of good news. At least that's what I was told. They try to build a team as fast as possible, given the circumstances. Obviously, taking advantage that at least on the foreigner side, there's not one player that is on an actual national
Mhm.
team. That's not
Okay,
going
so
to
that's
be
good.
an issue. Uh, to close it up, the only way for Lo Monaco to come to Tigres, people hate when I talk about Tigres, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
They need to sell to buy. They don't have money. Uh, that's why they're trying to make that Correa situation happen
Yeah, yeah.
so they can get the money to buy somebody else. But it is what it is. That's somebody who Monterrey also asked the situation for. Uh, he he actually thought that the team that was gonna because they talked to him last
Mhm.
summer. He's pretty much waiting for Monterrey to make their move because he wants to come here, right, to Mexico, especially to Monterrey. But let's see what happens. But other than that, follow me on Twitter at Rumpus is back, TikTok the same thing, Instagram the same thing. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna try to go and do content for especially for TikTok for this World Cup that at least the games are here. Trying to take advantage of it and do some funny shit. But other than that, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Everybody else, thanks for listening. I know you. We didn't talk about the specific names, but you retweeted two names that you feel like are going to be the ones. So if people want to, check that out, they can go to your Twitter account.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everybody, thanks for watching and rewatching. Like you said, like, subscribe, and all that good
Quick
stuff.
thing,
So
quick thing.
go ahead before I hit the
For
end stream.
people, for people who wonders why we do it in English when
Mm,
we can obviously do it in Spanish, because we just don't give a fuck.
yeah.
Thank you.
And plus, there's like 4 or 5 Spanish. So, like, it's like opening like a restaurant and like wanting to do the same thing that people are doing in that same neighborhood. So it's
Mhm.
just like it's
The
just
people
different.
who ask that is just the people who doesn't speak English. That's just what it is. Oh, and I saw a comment. Wait, that's what comment that said that really cracked me up, because it said if they were talking to United States citizens, they wouldn't understand. Bro, Eddie is a fucking United States
Yeah.
citizen. What you talking about?
Even
And
though you
I
said
do,
yesterday, you said yes. I heard you.
and I speak with gringos for a living, bro. What the fuck are you say? I mean, well, it is what it is. I'm sorry, but I was gonna try. I was asking you that at the beginning about the clip that went viral,
Mm,
because I remember that Becerro told me, and even Pat told me, because of the roof, right?
mm.
That, like, watch your background, bro. Like, and I told them, like, I'm doing it on purpose, because I know that's gonna
Yeah,
that's gonna
yeah,
have
yeah,
people talking about something, right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Ended up doing, I think that the last time that I checked, it was 350K. Like,
yeah, yeah,
everybody
yeah,
picked it up. It went national, it went
yeah,
international,
yeah,
actually. But thanks, and also it was a really good bar, what I said. So,
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so thanks to everybody who clipped that and shared it.
Yeah. No, like I said, we could do it in Spanish. I'm comfortable with my Spanish. I mean, I went to Colombia and nothing bad happened to me, and I was in Medellin, and of all places, where they can drug
Yeah,
tourists, and
pero
you
hasta mi
could,
hijo.
yeah. So, bad things, if you don't speak Spanish, or if you kind of stand out and do things over there, that can happen to you. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, it's not perfect. Spanish isn't perfect, but if I can survive there, or I can enjoy vacation in
yeah.
Colombia and Medellin, um, I'm I
You're
can
good.
do well on a program.
Yeah, you're good. Mhm.
All right.
Yeah,
But yeah, again, really appreciate everybody for listening. Hope you enjoy this. We'll probably come back once more, like, things
yeah.
start to happen.
Mhm.
And we'll see what happens with the World Cup, and yeah, it should be fun. Again, yeah, thanks. Or hold on, we have one more comments. We got one more comment. If I don't want to be dick, not enough people talk about how Rompas has a better accent than the big head. Oh, we'll just send it there.
Actually speaking, that's the point. I actually speak English, and,
Yeah,
and you have to take into consideration that I don't have a big head, so my accent is really like.
yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening.
Bye bye.